So it's another gorgeous day at Brighton Farms. And before we started going really deep, looking at some of the unrenovated units, looking at the usual, what do we need to do? Because just a couple of days since we took over, I wanted to really share this serene freaking lake we've got. I mean, my God, I think this is one of my most favorite amenities for all the properties that I own and we own together. Because it's got this nice little gazebo. It's early in the morning. It's like about, 9:30-ish, give or take. You can hear the birds. I hope you can hear them at the back. Really nice and peaceful sort of lake. This is our lake, but, we allow the house over there. There's one or two locations over there. We allow them to, fish, boat on this lake. But it's just so serene and peaceful. And if you think about it, you don't really got to do a lot. All you really got to do is make sure there's some nice lights. So we've got this over here, but we put some nice string lights, and that'll happen over a period of time. We just keep the place nice and clean. The spot space is really nice and clean. And this is really going to be advertised by us. And I think a lot of people really appreciate it because it's one of those things where you don't have to spend a lot of money, but it's such a nice, peaceful feeling. You look at a property like this, you don't just see you just don't see the buildings. With the trees, with the greenery, it's so soft on the eyes that it really helps. It just adds a lot of perspective, and it really helps elevate the property. I feel people don't give enough attention to landscaping and nature, and we're going to do a lot of landscaping over there, lots over there. That's where our sign is going to be. And all around the property, because I'm a big believer in landscaping, and I think you can never spend enough money on landscaping because it's one of the highest ROI items in my opinion. And it's one of those things which is a very easy way for anyone to stand out without necessarily, going out there. A lot of people think about, I'm going to put a nice little sign, I'm going to spend 30 grand on it, and I'm going to add this, and I'm going to add a fitness center and a cycling station and a this and a that. And a lot of times you can spend 10, 15, 20 grand on landscaping and just kill everything. I mean, you don't need a lot of fitness centers when something looks so pretty. Okay, this is another extra amenity of sorts that we're going to get more money for. Basically, these are the detached townhomes. So on our rent roll, we've coded them as TH, which means townhome. So if you're ever looking at a property, you see that typically that's a townhome. So the really cool thing over here is it actually does look like a townhome. It's not a glorified townhome. But the thing is, when you go inside, you have ample space on 2 floors. You can see that. That's part of one unit. But the other thing also is that I wanted to share with you, and I learned this by looking at properties in Texas, because I feel like there's a lot of innovations going on in the Texas market in terms of charging more for rents, various slicing and dicing of data that I didn't necessarily see in, say, Florida and Georgia that commonly. So we're going to do these private backyards. So let me just walk up all the way over here to show you that you see these townhomes that we were looking at the back. Now basically they have this door and that door. They're 2 separate units, obviously. They're divided by this wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a little bit of a fence. So initially we thought we were going to build a small fence, say about yay high, about say 4 feet high, right over here. But then when we were talking to our construction manager, Dan, and Amanda, who's our property manager, and Amy, our regional, we felt, hey, let's not end it at the concrete where the slab finishes. Let's extend it, say, about 6 feet or so into, say, the ground. So what then happens is you have a private backyard, which is, say, this is concrete slab, but you also get a little bit of the ground, so you can let your dog kind of roam out more. It's easier. It also looks nicer. But when you extend it out, say, 6 to 10 feet, you get a view of the lake, the really nice lake. So now what we do is we charge extra for the private backyard, but then we add extra money because you get a lake view. So these are 2 extra charges we can add, potentially get anywhere from about, say, around $40 to about $80, give or take. And you do this over, say, the 4 or 6 units we have over here, because it's 2 over here, 2 over here, and there's a couple at the back. That adds up to a few $100s a month, which is not too bad considering that the previous owners weren't getting any of this income. And it's small little things like these that you keep adding, and basically you're up a couple of $1,000s a month before you know it.